Hello, everyone, and welcome to this February news episode of What's New in Cloud FinOps with myself, Stephen Old, and my good friend,
Frank Contrepois.
We say this a lot, Frank, but this should be a quick one. There's not loads of news.
Yeah.
And it's a bit different, isn't it?
It's different because I'm going to do the non-AWS bits. And I don't understand half of the words they're using.
And I'm doing the AWS ones, but there wasn't a lot from AWS, oddly. So I feel a bit guilty because you've got most of the news as well. So our listeners are going to enjoy listening to you largely. Yeah. Are you going to hit the sound?
Yes. There we go. So that's instances and compute. It's a Google one, and this Blackwell is here. New A4 VMs powered by NVIDIA B200 now in preview. So that was the 1st of February. I mean, just precisely in the range. And so the latest NVIDIA chip, which consumed way too much, is now available in preview in Google. And so let me see. With
2.25 times more peak compute and HBM capacity.
Yes. Come on. Exactly. I think it's and you don't put one card at a time. They're made to work in groups. I was seeing recently someone building a custom made thing. I think they've put 4 cards in one U, or 1 or 2 U was 4 cards. So you can just imagine that's going to be 2,000. But anyway. It has enhanced memory. You can deliver a 3.2 terabit per second GPU to GPU traffic, which now I've understood is the main throttler is memory access.
Yeah,
that's quite interesting. Which has nothing to do really with this, but it's just on learning. There is a new chip from Apple. And one of the interesting bits that they've created, I think it's called the M3 Max. And it is supposedly for AI, it's better than the 4 or anything that's almost on the market. And one of the things that they were saying is really interesting is that the memory is shared between the CPU and the GPU. So everyone got access at the same. So there is no time between transferring between them also, which, okay. But anyway, that's
it's interesting because in the document it says that there is a significant performance boost, but it doesn't mention price.
Well,
so
obviously,
it's probably going to be more costly.
Yes.
So not even more price performance, which is what they normally say.
There we go.
Oh no, I've got one, haven't I?
No, I don't know if you have one. Yes, you have one. But first, I have one. I've just dropped one, which is DataDB and AI. AI.
I've got one in the instances bit, mate.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
That's okay. And it only just goes in the instances compute bit. It's that ECS increases the CPU limit for ECS tasks to 192 vCPUs. So it used to be a CPU limit of 10. So it's quite a significant CPU.
So we're moving from 10 to what?
192.
Yeah, well, that's slightly an increase, yes.
Yeah. So while it might seem kind of how is this going to have any FinOps effect, it can allow you to be significantly more efficient because you used to have to kind of play around to how to work within those limits. I mean, you have to be doing pretty big things, but if you are using ECS tasks, you probably are, and so now you can share multiple resource groups, effective sharing, resource sharing across multiple tasks on larger EC2 instances, basically.
Yeah, so you can put larger instances.
Yeah,
but they price increase linearly. So if you double, you double the price. So
but you're having to do less stuff around it, essentially.
Which is probably better. Okay, so back to DataDB and AI after my mistake. Youpie-doo. So Google, so there is start from February 14th. That's on Valentine. Anyway, projects might start seeing a data protection pane on the Create an Instance page in the Google Cloud Console. And that would mean that they've enabled backup by default. So you want to have a look at that because otherwise you'll incur price without knowing about it.
I think you can. I think it's that you can put your selection in there. I'm trying to remember because obviously I
Well,
go
that's
through
what I
all the
say.
portals.
If you
Whether it
see,
used to be on a separate like advanced settings page or not.
yeah, but now it is. If you see the data protection pane, it selects an option to automatically back up data by default.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Which is recommended to make you recover your data if it's
So
lost.
you're gonna have to click to not.
You have to click not to. It's a little like AWS for AI. You need to click for them not to take your, not to use your data.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you need to pay attention to that. That's more cost avoidance than expected. And I'm pretty sure that would then you would have backup. Otherwise, that you don't know where they're coming from if you've used it from very short.
It'd be interesting to see if you have what control you have over what it sets up, or it just sets up a standard cadence and retention period and stuff.
I don't know.
I need to build something over the weekend, so I might put it on Google and test it out. Might put it on an instance.
There we go, but it's only some project might start seeing. It seems to be random.
I wonder if it's new projects or something. I don't know how that would actually work and how they program the console, but it's all magic, isn't it? Right, me next. I mean, this is breaking news for the people that are using DB2. Amazon RDS DB2 now supports the M7Is and the R7I instance types. So that's it's got a larger instance size as well. If you're using DB2, you're probably using it big. So it now goes up to a 48x large, which is 50% more than you could get on the M6Is and the R6Is. It's with bring your own license and hourly, which is available through the marketplace. So you can purchase your DB2 licensing through the marketplace and attach it across on an hourly basis as well, depending on where you are. And it's fully managed for DB2. If you are using that.
DB2 is one of these DB. It was extremely performant, but that's is the little brother of Oracle. Oracle you've heard about, but if you've not worked in a company using Oracle, you might just say, "Oh, they're dead, they don't exist," etc. DB2 is even worse. It's really IBM, but I'm pretty sure that IBM customers have DB2 all over.
Yeah. And I mean, do you remember Infomix? Was it Infomix? Am I getting
yes, it was Infomix.
Yeah, which was the high transaction database.
Yes,
them as well. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the same. I think I was looking this one in Oracle 1 year ago, and they were showing you could put everything in memory. You could. Yeah. Their operating system on their own right. Usually, those kind of instances, they don't use the kernel, the operating system kernel to access disk. They have their own drivers. That's my stuff. Anyway, next one. Here we go. So that's going to be visibility. And I have some stuff, so let me find this one. So it was in Azure Update, generally available Azure Site Recovery pricing calculator for Azure to Azure managed disks. So that's very specific for pricing calculator because it's only Azure to Azure and it's only themes for managed disks.
Yeah,
but it's a general availability.
Like well.
Sorry?
I need to look what their outputs are like.
Yep. So this release is only for Azure to Azure scenario. We currently have deployment planner for VMware to Azure disaster recovery scenario estimation for customers. So that's probably on request. But yep, that's the first news. Next one is tags data for big table. So when Google World for big data instances are now including cloud billing data, letting you use tagged big table instances to gain visibility in your resource usage and spending.
That's interesting, isn't it? Because Google uses labels, not tags.
Yes.
So these are tags in the meaning of how you handle big table and how you handle metadata within big table specifically. So this is an embedded part of big table rather than classic how do you use labels, if I remember correctly.
Okay, I would be really interesting if you can, in this case, tag a query. Because at that point, you'll be able to go back to cost per query and all these kind of things. And that's where my ignorance...
I'm trying to remember. Is Big Table... Oh, no, Big Table won't be NoSQL, will it? If it's been called table.
No, Big Table is SQL. But it's an extended SQL. But it is SQL, if I remember well.
Let me have a quick look. Sometimes these days when you go and look at stuff, Big Table is a sparse populated table that can scale to billions of rows. Apache, I thought it was ESH based libraries. extension. What's it good for? Time series, marketing, financial data, Internet of Things data, graph data.
But that's where also they drop you all the data. It's the data place for Google. That's where you get the billing data too.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I imagine this is the row keys that you're able to find and then pull out from that. So you're able to break out cost more effectively because it's just one big blob of data, one big thing of data, and now you can actually separate that apart. Cool.
So listeners, you can feel that we're unsecure on that topic. So Bill, let us know what tags data for big table instances will change for you. I am really, really curious. Pick us up if you're in London at the London Summit. Big Steve, I will not be there. Or in San Diego.
Of course, you're away.
FinOps X. Yes. So next one. I was interesting. I have to say, I struggled. It's thanks to a filter that I'm applying that I was able to get to price. But you can use the best sellers and price competitive migration guide to transition to the newer version of the reports. This feature is in preview. I was really completely lost with that one. But the really interesting bit. So it seems that there was a report which was called the best-selling report that has been deprecated. The older version, so the document helps you migrate from the older version of the bestsellers reports. I guess it's for marketplace, possibly.
Maybe.
It's a Google Merchant Center. So this is, and you had bestseller report, and there is a new version. So there is a documentation to tell you how to move from one to the other. I'm not going to say anything more.
Migrate the bestsellers report. Yeah. Okay.
Our next one is yours.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm still trying to work out that one. Yeah. This is quite an easy one. The AWS price list API, which we've played with a huge amount, Frank, right?
Oh, yes.
Is now available as a private link. And that's, if that doesn't make sense, then maybe you've not used Private Link before. Private Link is the private network connection that you can do. So if you use someone like Equinix, you can have a private link to directly connect your MPLS or SD-WAN network into AWS. You pay on both sides for that. You pay for connect and connect, and then you pay a reduced rate for the traffic that goes through it. And it basically means you no longer have to go over the internet because there is a public-facing API that you could use. Why you'd want your API data to be secure, the pricing API data that is just public, I don't know. But if you are someone that likes to have everything over a private network and you've got something that isn't touching the internet in any other way and you're having to make it touch the internet just for this, then it could be a benefit for that. Yeah. But as it's pricing related,
I think it's what you just said. It's more related to you cannot use the internet or it would require you to change your firewalls because everything goes through private link, full stop, and so made a mess. But cool. There we go. We have pricing. So new pricing for Azure Virtual Network Manager. So starting February 11, all newly created Azure Virtual Network Manager instances will incur charges based on the number of virtual network where an active Azure Virtual Network Manager configuration is deployed, replacing the subscription-based pricing. So is that going to be cheaper or better or worse? I have no clue, but I can tell you there is a change related to your Azure Virtual Network Manager. And
they can be switched from subscription-based pricing to this model as described in our public documentation. No pricing changes automatically applied to existing. So you get to choose until February 2028.
Yeah, that gives
some
margin.
To flip across.
Yeah, but I think it's all newly created will have that. If you have an old one, you might be you can keep whatever was your old thing.
Yeah, agreed.
Cool. Next. Savings. So try 10 Azure SQL databases free of charge for the life of your subscription. That could be interesting for us.
Well, and me, because I've been trying to build some free stuff, and I've actually been struggling with this because it's starting trying to charge me much earlier than I felt it should. And some of it's about how you have to flip your subscription across from like a trial subscription to pay-as-you-go subscription, all of that. And it becomes quite unclear. That's really interesting. I will have a look at that because I've literally got a DB at the moment that I think is going to start being charged for. That I don't
Let me tell you a little more about that. With just a couple of clicks, you can power the application you want to build. This new offer provides 10 databases, each with 32 gigabyte general purpose serverless Azure SQL database, 100,000 vCore seconds of compute free every month. 100,000 is quite a lot. So it should be, if you are just doing that's for you, developing a web app that needs a database or simply need an additional database for proof of concept.
So what we're doing, actually, interestingly enough, what we're doing is pulling AWS pricing API data.
AWS pricing API data in Azure. Well done, you.
I'm putting it in Azure because then we're linking it to some stuff in Power BI and in Excel, and you can directly pull to do that. And so that's why we've created a
use private link, so you can use two of the news of February in one go.
I need an MPLS network to do that, which just seems pointless.
Slightly overkill, possibly.
Yeah, it's VPNs at the moment. Well, okay. Well, that's interesting. I'm going to send that to our innovation team because I've started building that project, but I've handed over to someone else. I built the DB, and so the fact that it's suddenly going to start charging for DB. Do you know what else has happened to me? On something else I built that online maturity assessment you know about, Frank, and I did that using a free Postgres DB to store the credentials and stuff anyway. And I put some connectors in to connect it to Lambda, and I'm getting charged more than the cost of the DB for the existence of the connectors I've built. And more than the cost of the DB should be, because the DB should be free. And I'm like, why am I getting charged $50 a month for some? And I think it's the connectors. It's been quite hard to easily pull it out. And because I've stopped the DB and I'm still getting, I thought that was sorted. I'm still getting charged because it's the connectors. And that's one of the things I need to solve today. Be careful, people. And also, and this is not news for this month, but I don't think it will appear in any of the AWS bits. But I saw on LinkedIn that someone was using an old Postgres DB, like the free version. Well, I think it had gone off being free, but it was the smallest one they could. And it had doubled in price. And then when I looked into it, it's because it had gone on to extended support.
Yeah.
Because they'd never upgraded it. And so suddenly they had it. And I imagine they should have had some warnings and stuff, but they had anomaly detection, so they saw it. But there's something worth just bearing in mind, guys. You can't just leave things forever.
But that's the interesting bit is you start having cloud vendors reaching the point of the good old infrastructure. Yeah. You reach end of life. It costs more. And we say, move to the cloud. It's never going to be end of life. Well, yes, it is, because I'm locked with some version sometime. And it's every new versioning is breaking some stuff. Anyway, I think yours is next.
Oh, look, I've got myself all over the place with these exciting updates you've given us, Frank. I've just been sending this to people. Where are we?
Cost Optimization Hub.
Yeah. So, Cost Optimization Hub has now supports more EC2 auto-scaling group recommendations. So it supports idle EC2 auto-scaling group recommendations and right-sizing recommendations with scaling policies and multiple instance types. It also allows you to easily filter and aggregate EC2 scaling group cost optimization opportunities separately from standalone EC2 instances, making it easier to identify EC2 scaling group opportunities and that with the highest saving opportunity. Now, I find it interesting if you use the cost intelligence dashboard, or cloud intelligence dashboard, whatever CID is. As you can tell, we're tired. We've been at an event for 2 days, haven't we? It gives you the different types of opportunities, and one of those is often auto-scaling, and it can be tricky. Like they're not often real opportunities, or they're very hard to get executed engineering teams, and because it creates a bigger number, it looks like, why haven't you done that 500,000 and you've only done 10,000? It's like because 480,000 of it was in EC2 auto scaling right size opportunities, which weren't, maybe it was saying we could use auto scaling here and all that kind of stuff. So having this stuff break apart more maybe better. It does also help quantify the estimated savings from recommendations, taking into account things like your savings plans and SPs, which is good as well. So you're not double counting and understanding the impact of where you might be incurring over commitment for following them.
Nice. FinOps, and I'll drop. You do those.
Oh yeah, okay. So just a reminder that the state of FinOps came out. If you haven't looked at it, go to data.finops.org. The top things, so the main problem remained the same, but then there was quite a bit of a flip around. I think for the most part, kind of matching what I've been seeing in the market. We're gonna possibly have the foundation come on and talk to us about it. I need to reach out. They said they would. They've been really busy, and then. But yeah, go have a look at it. Go watch the YouTube of the presentation that Steve Trasted did a great job. FinOps X London event is less than it's 2.5 weeks away. April the 1st. If you've not registered, please do. Frank is away on the Hollybobs, but I shall be there.
Sorry.
But some of your new colleagues will be there, I imagine.
Yes, search for the green jacket. Usually it's a green pixie guy.
And then obviously we will also be there at FinOps X. There'll be some more news about FinOps meetups. Some stuff's going up in that space at the moment. But yeah, all cool.
And now we have sustainability and green ops, and I have 3, which was quite interesting. Yes. So first one is TPU, so designing sustainable AI. That was from a Google article, a deep dive into TPU efficiency and life cycle emissions. I think they are releasing. It's a first of its kind study. They say talking about how efficient their TPUs, so that would be the CPUs of Google for AI. And they've added introducing compute carbon intensity. So they seem to have, it's the first time I see an article that seems to go deep dive into the CPUs and talk to you about carbon too. So very happy about that. That the article is written by David Peterson, Google Distinguished Engineer and Google Research, and VP Engineering Fellow. I'm sorry if I'm going to butcher your name, Parthasarathi. That was me being bad, but yeah, it came out on the 6th of February 2025. I repeat, the title is Designing Sustainable AI, a deep dive into TPU efficiency and lifecycle emissions. And that is definitely something I'm going to share internally here.
Parthasarathi Ranganathan. Oh, you did quite a good job.
Yeah, well, yeah. The other one, which was quite interesting, it was that there is Google is talking for the January 2025 semi-annual methodology refresh. We implemented the following improvement and updated carbon model to version 12. So they seem to say that Vertex AI and notebook services have a better allocation of energy consumption and emission for those services. And there are also various links on the methodology used by Google, which I need to go into details because we have our own methodology. Until now, Google was providing good yet, but data. So that's going to be really, really interesting. And then there is also carbon footprint. There is a full energy allocation methodology approach provided by Google. So they are sharing some good documentation there. I think it was nice to get some green ops and sustainability information, not to see that section completely empty as it is a little too often. Nice. And I think that's it.
There we go. We have actually been quicker, Frank, for once, rather than just saying it. And well done for finding some sustainability news. There we go. Cool. Yeah, nothing else on my side. I apologize if I missed anything in AWS land, but AWS is the easiest one to do normally, isn't it? And I went through and I just couldn't see much that impacted cost. And as you can see, some of the stuff I put in there it was hard to link back, but I just felt guilty because of how much you'd found. Well, thank you so much, listeners. We will have a bonus episode potentially coming out on Monday as well, which will be an interview episode. Yeah, thank you so much for listening. Frank, thank you so much for your time, and thanks so much for this week. Got to spend a couple of days together, didn't we?
Yes.
And speak to everyone soon.
Have a fantastic day, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.